I really like Jake a lot, but once he's in that ring, he has to fight like his life is dependent on it, because it will be.
When in your career are you going to actually fight a contender in your weight class and not do gimmick fights?
I mean, the skill level alone, now, of course, there is a size difference, a height difference, and all that, but he's just going to struggle so much landing a shot. It's just going to look bad.
In a shocking turn of events, boxing legend Mike Tyson made a surprise appearance at the Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis press conference, sending shockwaves through the room with a fiery warning to the YouTuber turned boxer. Tyson didn't mince words as he cautioned Jake Paul to fight like your life depends on it, making it clear that facing a ruthless fighter like Davis is no game.
If you saw Jake Paul's Fat Body videos, if you think he's taking his training seriously for you.
Listen, I think he's taking it very, very seriously because his health depends on it. Yeah, he's nobody I'm not looking past him. I'm taking it lightly at all.
The Jake Paul versus Tank Davis fight has become more than a spectacle. The bout is officially deemed an exhibition, a designation driven largely by concern over the massive weight and size difference between the two. The Florida Athletic Commission, for instance, would not sanction it as a pro bout given the disparity. Under the rules now agreed upon, they will fight 10 3-minute rounds, both men using 12 gloves, and knockouts will count. Importantly, the decision will be scored by 2 human judges and 1 AI judge, a new addition meant to inject more objectivity.
The Jake Paul versus Tank fight is getting really weird. Gervonta looks scared for his life because the rules are out. They're crazy. Oh, so everyone thought that the fight was at 190. Instead it's at 195, and this weight difference is scaring the life out of little Tank.
Over 10 3-minute rounds.
The next dispute comes with the gloves. Little Tank is used to fighting in 8-ounce gloves. Baby glove. This fight will be in 12. Hands might be too small. Also, Tank just fought in a 12 3-minute round fight against Roach. Yes, and now he's fighting in 10 3-minute rounds, which isn't too bad. Well done, Jake. Exhibition though, can he win? Yes, he can actually win. It will be overlooked by 3 sanctioned judges. So he can actually still win and knock him out. But here's the trick. It's body punches only. And there's a reason. That's because Tank said, look, this is a bit unfair. I don't want to punch up. I want to punch at my head height. Where does it fall? At Jake Paul's belly. Ooh. So apparently we've heard there's no knockdown rules, but aside from that, it's a pretty well-rounded fight. Oh yeah, and there's some drug testing involved. But
reports now suggest that Davis has bulked up during camp and is walking around closer to 160 lbs, even though he has never officially contested above the lightweight limit of 135 lb. This upward shift, while still shy of 160, would bring him nearer to the catchweight agreed for his exhibition bout with Jake Paul. The extra mass could enhance his punch resistance and power, making him a more dangerous and unpredictable opponent.
Gervonta Tank Davis, it's my prediction that Gervonta Tank Davis is going to weigh in on the night of the fight against Jake Paul, knocking on 160 pounds. Don't be surprised if he's 157 pounds, something like that. You guys see this footage? Look at Tank. Now, if you know what you're looking at, the guy must be around 150 right now, 153, something like that. And you can really tell when he's sideways. When you look at him sideways and see the depth. See, from the front view, you can't really tell. But when he turns sideways, the guy is a wrecking ball. He's literally a baby rhino out there. And I think that is the idea for him to bulk up and be a little powerhouse out there. And I'm all for it. I'm going to tell you in this video why I think that's the best thing for Tank and why I think he will be knocking on 160 pounds.
Teddy Atlas believes Gervonta Tank Davis is as close to a complete fighter as boxing has right now. He praises Tank not only for devastating power and finishing ability, but also for his counter-punching instincts, the way he sets traps, his control of distance, and his mental fortitude in the ring. Atlas sees Davis as patient when needed, deliberate in his actions, and always thinking 2 steps ahead, never simply relying on brute force. In his view, these qualities make Davis the one boxer among the elite lightweights who has all the tools required to potentially beat someone like Jake Paul, whose style is developing, but whose record doesn't yet reflect elite technical refinement.
The only other time he was in for the fans to get mad with that was against Fury's Tommy Fury, but it wasn't that level, obviously. And all the size things you just rightfully pointed out. But he would have been in there with, I mean, it seemed crazy. You're going to go in there with a guy who was a 2-time heavyweight champ and a gold medalist? Wow. Even though the guy's, at a twilight part of his career, still.
And you've given a lot of credit and props to Jake Paul on this show of helping get more eyeballs to the sport, but the way he takes it serious and goes about his approach and his work to this craft, that he does take it seriously. With that being said, when he announces Tank Davis, I'm getting tired of these gimmick fights and him loading the deck up. Whether it was Chavez Jr. or an old Mike Tyson, or we could go on and on with some of the UFC guys and the great Anderson Silva at 46 years of age. Tank Davis, great fighter, current fighter, world champion. We know how good he is. Been a top 10 pound for pound guy for you for the last few years now. But he's 5'5" and 135 pounds. This sounds like it would be a 195-pound fight, an exhibition. Wouldn't count on their records. Not a whole lot of other details other than it will be in November, and it sounds like in Atlanta. But I've said enough. I just want to hear your take. What do you make of this news of Jake Paul and Tank Davis?
But, and I'm smiling a little bit. But back in the day, I love the 1800s, 1700s, my friend out there, 1700s, whatever. But I love the old time fighters that were catch weights. And there was guys like Sam Langford. I know Sam Langford shouldn't even be comparing him with this because...
Despite Davis's superior skills and new bulked-up physique, former super middleweight champion Carl Froch warned that Paul's size and atypical power present a serious threat to Davis won't be used to being hit like that. Froch's concerns reflect widespread unease within boxing circles. This is seen less as a competitive bout and more as a freak show with legitimacy and fighter safety in question.
Just here at Los Naranjos in Viva, España, and I found out that Gervonta Davis is now fighting Jake Paul. So Jake Paul was supposed to be fighting AJ. Eddie Hearn announced 99% done, which we've just spoke about. What next for AJ? Potentially Jake Paul. But it now looks like that Jake Paul is fighting one of Anthony Joshua's legs. He's fighting Gervonta Davis, somebody who's a quarter of his size. I don't even know what's going on. Has Eddie Hearn been played? Let me know what you think, but the AJ fight with Jake Paul's finished. Gervonta Davis, fake Paul, November. I don't know what's going on in the world of boxing. This is an absolute joke. What next for AJ? We'll get into this, and there's so many questions I want to get into in the next episode, but I hope you enjoyed this one. And yeah, I just thought I'd give you a quick update because the news has just come in, and I'm just trying to relax and play a bit of golf, and I can't. I've got to get it off my chest. I'm going to add it to this video. Hope you enjoy it. Don't forget, if you haven't already, hit like, share, and subscribe to the best channel in the business, Froch on Fighting, and we'll see you very soon.
Froch has issued a stern warning about the safety risks of the next Paul versus Davis on ISA exhibition, highlighting an estimated 65 lbs weight gap.
My name was mentioned at his press conference and he shit himself, and the fight was just absolutely fucking diabolical. Again, I've said before, he's not a professional boxer. He never will be. And he proved time and time again that he's not a professional fighter. So, Jake Paul, go on, piss off.
I mean, I don't really take Jake Paul that serious. He can't really box. He can have a little fight, he can have a swing. Swings away, stands up straight, and he throws punches, but it's not professional boxing. Because when I watch him box, he's just so much wrong. It's just, everything's wrong. He's so bad. He's got leaky defense. He telegraphs his punches. Like, you put him in with someone his own size, who's a professional, and it's a mismatch. And you'll see that if he ends up fighting somebody. Tommy Fury, bless him, he's a pro boxer, but he's inexperienced. He's got no amateur pedigree. He's a raw novice, or maybe just above the raw novice. I was saying earlier, where would I put him in terms of levels? He'd do well to win a British title. He's at that sort of level, and then from British title to world level, it's like different worlds. It's like totally different. It's like a different sport.
After Jake Paul's convincing win over Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., analysts have raised the question, is he really ready to face true top 15 or top 20 fighters? While Emiliano Vargas has weighed in on whether Paul now deserves those kinds of matchups, much of the boxing community remains cautious. Eddie Hearn, for example, has argued that although Paul is moving in the right direction and might soon earn something like a WBC ranking, there are many more established, accomplished fighters who still deserve spots above him in the rankings. The debate reflects the tension between Paul's rising profile and whether his past opponents truly test his readiness for elite-level boxing.